Hello, everyone. It is Tiffany of Clarity, Confidence, Courage, Women's Empowerment. I am so excited to have this mom and daughter superpower team with me today. You're going to learn more about their story and how they are changing lives of moms and children everywhere in the world. Please welcome June and Riley Akers. And June, if you could tell us, you and Riley, tell us more about who you are, what you do, and how you got started on this path.
Absolutely. Well, I am the author of the Riley Madison children's books that teaches superpowers to kids. And this is my daughter, Riley, the real Riley Madison Akers. And she is the inspiration for these books. And we have had a lot of fun being a mother-daughter team putting these books together. And the inspiration, what makes these books unique and different from other children's books, is that they are based on real life things that happen, real true stories that happened to Riley. When Riley was little, she really had a hard time focusing, paying attention, remembering things. She really struggled. And it's really funny when I go to schools and I do author visits and I ask the kids, do any of you guys ever forget things or you have, and it's so cute. All their little hands go off. And I visit elementary schools, kindergarten through fifth grade. So all of them are always like, yes, I have a hard time remembering. And so and I let them know, well, that is how I ended up really wanting to write the story based on my daughter, inspired by my daughter. And it actually all happened one night. One day we had a really rough day. She was probably about 6 or 7 years old. And it was one of those days where I just went to bed crying because I was like, I'm the worst mother of the year. And we just had a really hard day. And I always usually go to sleep saying prayers. And so that night I was just praying, asking God for wisdom and just to help me figure out how to be the mom I wanted to be to the sweet little gift that I had, that at that time I didn't think she was super sweet because we had such a bad day. But anyways, I just, it's like, God, just give me wisdom, help me know how to be the mom that I want to be. And I just remember, I was praying and I just felt this piece of like, June, you're going to be just fine. You and Riley have a lot to learn and you're going to learn it. And then one day you need to share her story with other moms and kids. And at that time, I was like, what? Share her story? What do you mean share her story? And anyways, and I just felt again, I was like, not now, but someday you need to share her story and you're gonna write a book about her. And so I was like, all right, well, I can do that, but I have a lot to learn, obviously. But it's so cool because now's the time. We're like, the time is now, and we are so excited to have written this book. And she's now 15 years old, and she is in high school, and she's a sophomore, 10th grader. And so it's been about 7 or 8 years now, and we just felt, okay, the timing is right. She's also the illustrator of the book, and that's really cool. And so I was waiting on her to feel comfortable, ready to do the art for the book, because that was a dream we'd always had. I would write the story and she would be my artist, my little illustrator. And so yes, so that's how we do it. And then these superpowers that we've learned since she was little, in elementary school, we've learned lots of different tools and skills to help her. And so yeah, we put them in the story. And our first one, this is the first Riley Madison book. Riley Madison discovers the superpower of a list. And so it teaches kids the importance of writing things down and you don't forget it. And then we have the really cool thing is it's going to be a complete series. So we have another book coming out this summer that will be teaching the second superpower. And we can talk to you a little bit more about that later. And then we have another one coming out in November. So we're super excited. It's just, we've had a lot of good reviews. Parents and kids are loving them. And kids are like, we want more Riley Madison stories. So,
That is an awesome and amazing, amazing story. And I love this idea that you and your daughter went through a phase, like you were explaining. There were some struggles, which every mom, I'm sure, can relate to. And instead of just getting down on yourself or just getting upset, you made a decision to take that challenge and turn it into an opportunity to create something that not only helped Riley, but can help other moms and children that are going through similar things. That I'm sure there are a lot of children who may have issues forgetting things and memory, even adults. have that issue. So I love that you turn this into a book. Now, Riley, I want to ask you, when your mom first came up with this idea, what were you thinking? Like, how did you feel about her writing a book about the experience that you both shared?
Wow. Well, when I first heard it, obviously I was like, "Whoa, a book about me? That's awesome!" And then I was like, "Wait, what is she going to write?" You know, like she has a lot of
Mom, what
embarrassing
stories?
stories.
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Oh no." But when I realized that its purpose was to like share this message about helping other kids like focus and keep track of stuff, I was like, okay, that's actually really cool, and I would love to help out with that. So I think it's awesome that this we've accomplished this so far.
That is so amazing. And I love that, like you said, at first it was like, let me think about this. But then you realize like this is not just helping me, but this is impacting the world. This is impacting other
Mhm.
children that may be going through this. And I know, Riley, that you did, like your mom said, you did a lot of the graphic work and the artwork for the book. So how was that experience being able to bring out that creative side for this project?
It was fun. I've always loved doing art ever since I was like little. I had taken, even growing up, I had taken a couple like art class and stuff, but it was always just a passion of mine, even if it was just like doodling on the side of my math paper. Um, but being able to do this was a whole different step. It was a challenge too, because drawing like specific people over and over or just those kind of things. It was different, but it was a lot of fun again.
That is
She's always really liked drawing like animals and dogs. And then when she had to draw characters, she's said that drawing facial expressions and actually faces are actually very challenging. So, anyways.
Wow, wow. And June, I know we have talked before when we were talking about this journey to writing this book. You were telling me that even before you got started, you were already working with children. Tell me a little bit about that experience before you started writing the book.
Yeah, so I actually am an elementary school teacher, and I've taught first grade. I've taught all the odd ones, first, third, fifth, and seventh grade. So that was another thing when after I felt like I needed to write these stories about Riley, our journey, and all the things that we've learned. I just working with children. I was like, we all these kids need help with focusing and getting these
Mm,
skills down. And one of the things I think I had a lot of success in my classroom and with my students is because I had to work really hard to help my daughter because she had such an overactive, creative, awesome brain. And I had to work really hard to help her. And so I brought things that I had learned with her into my classroom. And so my kids, we always have a list. I have a list on the board. I really it ended up being a teacher that did not, my kids always knew what to do because they were list everywhere. They were list when they came in the morning, anytime they had an assignment, the lists were a really big deal. And so, working with other kids, I just realized all these kids, no wonder, I felt from that prayer that God was like, other kids, other families need what you and Riley are going to learn, and working with them and seeing that, I was like, you're right. All these kids need Riley Madison's superpower. So, yeah.
I love that. And I love it because I think so many times, we have a calling and that we are not quite certain what it is, as far as women, and we find ourselves in different points and spaces in our lives. But when we look back, it's like, oh, it was all connected. Oh, it
Yes.
was all meant to be. And this is the final product of something that really is a mission now. It just sounds like a mission for you and Riley. So that is so beautiful and amazing.
Thank you. You're right. I think you are exactly right. And I think I always tell when people ask me, did you always know you were going to do this or whatever? I'm like, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up. There's all kinds of, I don't know what my path is going to be. I always want to be open to, new things and not be afraid to do them and just have the courage to do it, especially if I feel like that's what God has called me to do. So,
Mm, mm. And where did you get that courage and that confidence, June, to step into this? Because, it's one thing to write a book, it's another
mhm.
thing to step out there and tell the world a private part of your life.
I think my faith is a huge deal when it comes to having the courage and confidence. As I said before, when I was praying that prayer for wisdom and guidance to be the mom that I wanted to be, and I just felt it so in my heart, that's what I was supposed to do. Anytime I start to feel fear or be like, oh, I can't do this, or this is, I definitely have gotten overwhelmed writing these books. Like, what in the world have we got ourselves into? Because I mean, nothing's easy, like there, sure, I have so much fun writing the stories, but there's other things that I'm like, man, this is a lot of work, or this is more than I thought it was going to be. And anytime I start to feel discouraged, I just think, no, this is what I know without a doubt. This is exactly what I have been called to do. I believe that's why God gave me this sweet girl. And I think that's, like you said, it was all connected. It was all part of our journey. So that whenever I start feeling like, oh man, should I be doing this? I just go back to that. No, I know God told me to, and that just gives me the courage to keep going.
That is amazing. And Riley, I'm going to ask you the same question because your mom, she came up with the idea to write the book, but this was your experience. Like this was the life that you were actually living day in and day out. So for you going through this experience, as far as living through, trying to, gather up, remembering things and organizing yourself and, all these superpowers that you had to learn, how did you pull that confidence and that courage out of yourself every single day as you were going through that experience?
It was, well, I mean, I was diagnosed with ADHD at
Mm-hmm.
a kind of young age, and I know a lot of there are a lot of people who struggle with this kind of thing, and it is a lot people with that have more trouble focusing and keeping track of things they're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
But learning these had techniques to cope with that has definitely helped a lot, and even just having help from family members or friends to support you and get you through all this, that was a lot of really, it was very nice to have.
And I think that's really important what she just said, just getting help from family members. Like when they're little, it's not like you can just read the book and then be like, yeah, go write your list. Like it was a lot from us as parents, or even as a teacher in your classroom. You teach how to make the list. And then you also are consistent with, did you check your list? And you remind them. It's, because they're little and you have to kind of get that structure in. So then now we've been doing it so long, she's got it, and there's still time. She actually still has a list, and there's still times that she's having a big day or she's got a lot on her plate. Sometimes I would be like, Riley, where's your list? Did you check it? And I think some of that is us still guiding and coaching them and teaching them the tools, giving it. She and I sat down and we made the list together when she was little, and just being consistent with them.
And I love that. And I'm so glad you talked about that consistency, because even in my adult life and a lot of the women that I coach, I use lists all the time for
Yes.
everything. And I
Mm-hmm.
talk so much about consist for everyone. So not just children, but even adults need
Mm-hmm.
consistency in order to hit their goals and move forward in life. So I think that's such a big message for any and everyone.
Absolutely. If whatever I'm not consistent about does not happen.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
honestly, it doesn't. Like it's not successful if I'm not consistent. And her tools, these superpowers, none of them would have been successful if I hadn't been consistent with her and stayed on top of it and be like, no, 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 we gotta use these skills. We gotta use these skills, because as a little person, she's like, what? I forgot the list. No, let's look at your list, so being consistent for sure. So and that even goes with the other, you just mentioned you make lists all the time too. And that's like our number one superpower that we've taught. But then other superpowers that we're super excited. Well, we had a hard time figuring out what book we wanted to write first, because there's several that she uses a lot of the superpowers. And so we were like, you know what? I think list is our number one go-to. That seemed to be such a game changer from the get-go. So that's why we did making the list. And then the next one that's coming out this summer is time management, where Riley learns how, because kids, they call it time blindness. When you tell a kid you have 2 minutes, they're like, well, what's a minute? Like, you have to remember when you're working with children that their minds are not as developed as ours. And I think I've made so many mistakes as a parent thinking they knew more than they did. And we have to sometimes get on their level to be like, you know what? They don't know what a minute is, or they don't know. And one of my friends was like, I was telling my daughter to hurry, hurry. And she was like, Mom, what does hurry mean? What do you mean? You know, and just so many little things that we expect them to know, which they eventually do learn, but just remembering where they're at developmentally and getting on their level, I think is just huge. And, helping you be a better parent and just to explain things better. And so the second one, the book came out this summer. Riley goes to summer camp. And she learns the time management. She learns how to use timers and how to use stopwatches and music. Sometimes kids, yeah, she's got her watch. She's showing me her
I
watch.
can't live without a
Yes.
watch. Ever
Yes.
since 6th grade, I've been had to have a watch on at all times. Otherwise, I go crazy. It's
It's important.
bad.
Yeah. Because that really helped her be aware of time, and it kind of lost the time blindness for her. Like, she is aware of time. And especially with remote learning that these kids have had to do, it has been huge that I had already in my children, Riley and her little brother Lawson. Lawson's in middle school, and then she has another little brother. Actually, she's got two more. One's in elementary school, and they all were on different schedules at the house, and they would like be coming in the kitchen. Hey, Mom, I'm on a 10-minute break. Hey, Mom. Okay, and then Riley comes, so I have to be back on at 10:30, and it was huge. And them learning to set those timers, because I couldn't remember all of it, and I'm trying to work as well. And we have a toddler. That's her youngest brother is
3 brothers.
yes, she has three brothers, and so it was just a lot. And so, man, that really was huge. Already having my children know a lot of these skills and be ready for that, because these little ones having to do remote learning, like we've looked at the kids that have been more successful with remote learning, and it is those kids that already have those skills of making sure they have their list, getting those timers set, being aware of the time. Those have been huge, big deals for kids, facing our new way of learning right now. So
That is so, I mean, that can be a book in and of itself. Riley does remote learning.
oh yeah,
'Cause
right,
I think
yes,
so many
yeah.
parents are struggling, and
Yes.
I'm sure for your children, it's like a gift that their mom is already a school teacher, but for those
Oh,
parents and those moms who are like, I don't do this. What do I
oh
do?
no, I am a school teacher and we already have skills, but it's still a huge challenge. So yes, it's just hard.
Oh my
So but we're making
gosh.
it. Yes,
You're
for sure.
inspiring me here, June. And
Oh,
I don't have
thank
children,
you.
and you're just
Oh,
inspiring me from everything that you just said.
oh, thank
I mean,
you.
that I think being a mom is one of the hardest jobs on the planet. Every
Mhm.
mother I've ever talked to has said it's the greatest and most amazing experiences, and also
Yes.
sometimes can be the most challenging. So I give kudos to all the moms.
Absolutely. I've always dreamed of being a mom. That's what I wanted to be more than anything. I was like the little girl who carried around baby dolls because I cannot wait to be a mom. And so it's actually my greatest joy for sure. But it's also been the hardest thing I have ever done in my whole life because I want to do it right. Just like
Right.
most moms, you want to get it right. And so yes, I absolutely love it. And I'm so thankful for my gifts. But yes, it is hard and it's challenging. So we don't give up. We just keep
That's
going,
right.
even though we mess up. So
That's
yeah.
right. Yes. And June, I know you talked about the Mom Gold Award. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so we were so excited because our book won the Gold Award for the Mom's Choice Award, so which is really cool. And just having it's an award-winning book now. And then also with the publishing company that I use, they've accepted my book to be one of the ones in the running for their global award, which is also a really cool. We won't know if we've won that one or not until October. But I mean, just for them to love the book and to put it in the running to get the award is such a big deal anyway. So, but we're really, really proud of the book, and just for to win those awards like that. That's just been another thing that's just been really encouraging that helps me keep going. So
I'm going to ask one more question. I'm going to ask June first, and then I'm going to ask Riley the same question. June, we've talked about, the challenges you face as a mom in general, the
Mhm.
things that you and Riley had to go through writing this book. I mean, you have so much on your plate. You have other children. Clearly, you have a family. What is one message that you can give to our audience that keeps you motivated, keeps you going when you face those challenges as a mom, as a businesswoman, and as a school teacher?
That's such a great question. I think for me, one of the things that I struggle with is just that some like we've already talked about this a little bit with is like those voices that put lies in your head or fear or like you're not good enough or why would you even think you can do this or or just the lies that sometimes start getting to us when we're just having a crummy day, and we all have crummy days. And so for me, I think it comes into my faith is huge because I know who I am and because of my faith. And I also, whenever I start getting those lies fed to me, I just go back at them and say, no, I'm not. Yes, I might be having a bad mom day, but I'm trying hard. And you just get up and you do it again. And you get better from failure. Just
Mm,
like these books came from a day of failure and they were inspired by tough times with my daughter. I believe with all my heart, we take tough stuff and we just let it empower us and we get better because I'm not going to go down without a fight and I'm not a quitter. And I think that whenever, things start getting hard and you want to quit, or a lot of times, even with books and writing, it's a process, and I think even us, we're on a journey as women, as a mom, as a daughter, we're growing and we are becoming who we're supposed to be, and it is a process. And just like with these books, it didn't happen overnight. When we were in the middle of writing it, the pandemic hit, and we this book took a lot longer just to get published because I had all my little ones home doing remote learning and I didn't have time to write. But I didn't stop writing and just give up. Like I had to find I was intentional about finding the time and we made it happen. And I think that that's just where you don't listen to those lies. You fight back at those lies. You say, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not a bad mom. I had a rough day. I'm going to get better. Or yeah, this book is not going as fast as I want to, but that's okay because there's a journey in it. And for me, I just have a belief of, it didn't happen at this time because it wasn't meant to happen at this
mm.
time. And so just feeding myself that kind of stuff helps me overcome and just giving yourself a little grace.
Oh,
So
I love that. I mean, that
oh,
that much
thank
just
you.
motivated me.
Oh yay, well
That
good,
is that
yes.
is that is so beautiful, and I absolutely agree. And Riley, the same question to you. What in your world, because you're not a mom, you're the daughter,
No.
and you're 15, so you have a whole nother experience. And I'm sure with
Mhm.
the pandemic and having to actually, be at home, during this pandemic, life has been hectic for a lot of young people. So, what is one motivational message that you can give to the audience from your perspective of how you make it through every single day?
Wow. I guess like as a kid having to, you know, still go to school and learn and do all this during something crazy like the pandemic that will be showing up in history books from years from now. It's a lot different. Definitely not how I imagined my high school to be going. I was like, I'm gonna be going to like homecoming and stuff like that. But no, instead we're having to half the school isn't even at school; they're online, and the other half is in person, and we're all separated, can't talk, stuff like that. Um, it's kind of like it's almost scary. Like, okay, how is this gonna affect my future? Because this is not what I had planned. This is not how I thought my life was gonna be going. So how do I get through this? And it's just kind of that fear that, almost makes you not as, well, this test isn't, that, what if I like mess up, stuff like that. But being afraid is just, an obstacle. You have to get over that. But sometimes you can't get over that. You just have to deal with it. One of my favorite, I don't know if it's a quote or something like that. It's, if you can't like overcome the fear, just do it scared. Like,
Mm,
I love that.
I love that
Yes.
too.
like
Do it scared. Yeah.
roller coaster. No, I'm not gonna be not afraid of it, but I'm gonna, get on it and have fun, even though I'm scared. Just kind of that kind of mindset, I guess, is nice to have.
Yes, I love that because I think so many times in adulthood we forget that. Like you just explained, do it scared. Yes,
Mhm.
everything in life, sometimes you face challenges, sometimes you don't know how you're going to get through it. But when you look at it from that perspective, like, well, I was scared when I got on a roller coaster and it turned out to be pretty fun.
Yes.
So I
And
think
now it's
that,
like one of her favorite things to do is ride roller coasters. So
right.
yeah.
That's such an awesome message. And I know that no matter who is watching this, that message is going to touch them because we're all dealing with the same thing, this pandemic. And, people are losing jobs, kids have to stay home. And so, this idea of, hey, it's not always going to be easy, do it scared, and you will
Mm.
make it through like you've made it through so much. And clearly, Riley, you have made it through a lot in your life. And your mom and you have come together to create this book to teach other young people how they can make it through. And I think that is phenomenal. That is an inspiration in and of itself.
Oh, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So tell us, where can we find you? Where can we get the book? All of your handles, where can we follow you?
So
Go.
we have a website, juneacres.com, and that's where you can go and check out our bios are there. You can learn more about Riley and I, and then also you can contact us if you want to send us a note. We love hearing from our little readers. Sometimes they even send us like their list and they're like, look, Miss June and Miss Riley, look at my list. And we absolutely love that. And man, I've had emails from moms that have made me cry because they're like, this has changed my life, because doing these superpowers has made their home just have a more peaceful environment because they're getting their kids the skills they need, and it's helping everybody. They've been like, my husband and I have a better marriage because our kids aren't, we don't like, they were like, nobody knew what anybody was supposed to do, and now we've got these lists everywhere and they're changing our world. They're changing our home, changing our world, and those that's just made me cry because I'm like, that's why I wrote the book, to help kids and families. So you can contact us through our website, juneacres.com. You can also order books through the website. And Riley, if you order through the website, Riley and I will sign the books for you and write you a personal message. The kids love getting signed books from me and Riley. And then also, but you can also buy our books anywhere. They're available, really any bookstore. You go to their website, you can order them through Walmart, Target, Amazon. Like they're around the world. They're available worldwide, through anybody that sells books. And a lot of people love supporting their local bookstores. So the thing to do with that is just call your local bookstore and they can, get the book as well, order it through their website. So, and then I have a Facebook page. It's June Akers Author. And then we have our Riley's little brother, Lofton, was like, Mom, you and Riley have got to have a YouTube channel because that's a big deal because as you told us. So we have Riley Madison Books YouTube channel, and you can go there and subscribe. And we have Riley and I reading the first two chapters of our first book, and then we have Riley doing a magic show and talking a little bit our books. So the kids have they like the YouTube channel, Riley Madison Books. And so yeah, so that's where you can find our books and find out more about us. So.
Beautiful, beautiful. And everyone, I am also going to put all their information in the description below. So you will definitely be able to click on those links and get in touch with Riley and June and definitely purchase their books. Riley and June, I love your energy. You two
Aw.
are the cutest superpower
Thank
mom and daughter
you.
duo team.
Aw.
You are absolutely gorgeous. And I'm just
Thank
so
you.
thankful that you brought this energy to my channel. And I know that so many women who watch this, who are moms, are going to be inspired by the both of you. And it is a message that every single person is going to be able to take to heart and move forward in life because of you. So thank you so much for this interview. And I'm super excited to learn more about those books that are coming out going forward.
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for having us. We've loved being here with you.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Bye.